Welcome to Rare Breed Brotherhood. The most attractive people are often the ones too busy building themselves to notice the spotlight already shining on them. Sigma males are a rare breed, quietly confident, deeply introspective, and fiercely independent. You don't chase attention, but somehow it follows you. You stand apart, not because you try to, but because it's in your nature to move through life differently. And while you may not seek validation, the truth is you might be far more attractive than you realize. The world is drawn to men like you, those who thrive in their own space, who don't feel the need to prove themselves, and who carry an aura of mystery that commands curiosity. But here's the thing, sometimes you're too focused on your journey to notice the effect you have on others. This video isn't about bragging or overthinking, it's about recognizing the quiet power you hold. It's a reminder that your strength lies in being unapologetically yourself. Watch closely, and you'll see the signs that set you apart in ways you've never even considered. Stay with us. This might just change how you see yourself. Number 1. He's the shadow that sparks curiosity. A Sigma male often walks through life unnoticed at first, low-key, observant, and always on the edge of the crowd. He doesn't command the room like an alpha or blend into the noise like others might. Instead, he exists somewhere in the shadows, quietly taking in everything while revealing almost nothing. It's this quiet detachment that creates an air of mystery, a magnetic pull that people can't seem to resist. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, where everyone rushes to showcase their lives for attention, the Sigma male's restraint is both rare and alluring. He doesn't feel the need to explain himself, boast about his achievements, or demand the spotlight. This lack of neediness intrigues people. They wonder, what is he thinking? What does he know? Why isn't he saying more? His silence speaks volumes, and it sparks curiosity in a way loud words never could. He's the kind of man you notice later, but when you do, you can't stop noticing. His quiet confidence creates a space where others project their own curiosity, questions, and sometimes even fantasies. He's the enigma in the corner, the puzzle people instinctively want to solve. The fact that he doesn't seek attention only makes people want to give it to him. The beauty of this allure is that it's unintentional. He's not playing a role or cultivating a persona. He's simply being himself. And that's the most powerful part. He doesn't have to try. His silence, his mystery, his refusal to conform to expectations, these qualities aren't deliberate strategies. They're simply the natural extension of who he is, and they leave people wanting more. Without saying a word, he draws people closer, making his shadow impossible to ignore. Number 2, he exudes unintentional, dangerous calm. A Sigma male carries a unique kind of energy, one that doesn't shout, doesn't demand, but commands respect without effort. His calm isn't something he performs. It's who he is. He rarely gets rattled, and his emotional steadiness in tense or high-pressure situations is impossible to ignore. Where others might panic, lash out, or crumble, he remains composed, a steady force in the chaos. This unintentional calm carries a subtle but undeniable power, making him seem unshakable. It's not that he's unaffected by stress or challenges, it's that he processes them differently. Instead of reacting impulsively, he observes, analyzes, and acts only when necessary. This ability to stay grounded in situations where others might lose control gives him an edge, a quiet dominance that others find both reassuring and intimidating. People instinctively know that he won't buckle under pressure, which makes him someone to rely on and someone to reckon with. What makes this calm feel dangerous is its unpredictability. He doesn't react in expected ways. You can't provoke him easily, and even when faced with conflict, he won't respond with unnecessary aggression. Instead, his restraint hints at a deeper strength, a confidence that doesn't need to be proven with loud displays. This makes others cautious around him, not because he's overtly threatening, but because his calm suggests he's always in control, always a step ahead. It's this quiet dominance that sets him apart. In a world full of people who wear their emotions on their sleeves or crack under pressure, his steadiness feels rare, almost untouchable. It makes him someone people respect without question, admire without fully understanding, and fear just enough to think twice before underestimating him. This dangerous calm isn't just part of who he is, it defines his power. Number 3, his social minimalism is subconsciously attractive. A Sigma male's social presence is like a rare gem, limited, intentional, and valuable. Unlike those who thrive on constant interaction or being surrounded by large groups, he chooses his connections carefully. He doesn't scatter his energy on shallow conversations or meaningless exchanges. Instead, he reserves his time for relationships that matter, creating an aura of exclusivity around him. This social minimalism is more than a choice, it's a statement. It subtly signals to others that his time is not freely available, it must be earned. People quickly realize that if a Sigma male gives them his attention, it's not out of obligation or routine, but because he genuinely values their presence. And that in itself makes his attention feel special. His absence from trivial social circles or constant gatherings only adds to the intrigue. While others are busy being everywhere at once, he's notably missing, and that absence doesn't go unnoticed. People begin to wonder where he is, what he's doing, and more importantly, how they can be part of the small circle he keeps close. Ironically, his social restraint makes people crave him more. They start to view his presence as a privilege, not a given. This unspoken scarcity creates an allure that's impossible to replicate. Unlike someone who seeks attention, the Sigma male's value lies in his deliberate choice to step back and let others come to him. The beauty of his social minimalism is that it's effortless. He's not playing games or trying to seem exclusive. He simply knows his worth and refuses to waste it. This quiet confidence turns his limited interactions into something people eagerly anticipate, making his presence a rare and sought-after experience. Number 4, he breaks stereotypes without trying. A Sigma male is impossible to categorize, and that's exactly what makes him so captivating. Unlike the alpha who dominates with boldness or the beta who thrives on compromise, the Sigma doesn't conform to societal labels or expectations. He moves through life on his terms, naturally defying stereotypes without even trying. This unpredictability is what keeps people intrigued. What sets him apart is his effortless authenticity. He doesn't follow trends, adopt personas, or mold himself to fit into a predefined role. His actions, decisions, and personality are driven by his own principles, not by what's expected of him. This rare ability to just be without forcing individuality or seeking approval makes his uniqueness genuine and refreshing. His nonconformity is not a rebellion, but a reflection of his self-assured nature. He doesn't need to declare that he's different. It's simply evident in how he carries himself. Whether it's the way he handles relationships, approaches his career, or navigates challenges, the Sigma male is a constant reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all path to success or fulfillment. This quiet defiance of norms resonates with people on a deep level. In a world obsessed with labeling and categorizing, he's the exception, someone who operates outside the system yet thrives within it. His unpredictability challenges those around him to rethink their assumptions, drawing them in with a mix of curiosity and admiration. What makes the Sigma male stand out isn't just that he breaks stereotypes. It's that he does so effortlessly. There's no act, no performance, no agenda. He simply refuses to be anything other than himself, and that level of authenticity is as rare as it is magnetic. Number 5, he's the guy people talk about without him knowing. The Sigma male is the kind of man people notice but don't immediately understand, and that's precisely what makes him unforgettable. He doesn't go out of his way to be seen or heard, yet his presence lingers long after he's left the room. There's an enigmatic quality to him that sparks curiosity. He's the guy people whisper about when they think he's not listening. Who is he? What's his story? The questions flow naturally because he gives just enough to intrigue but never enough to satisfy. Unlike those who loudly advertise their lives, the Sigma male keeps his cards close to his chest. This restraint creates an aura of mystery that people can't help but dissect. His elusiveness isn't an act, it's simply a reflection of his self-sufficient nature. He doesn't feel the need to explain himself, overshare, or seek validation. Ironically, this lack of effort to impress makes him all the more fascinating. He becomes a subject of conversation not because he seeks it, but because people are drawn to the gaps in what they know about him. They speculate, interpret, and try to piece together his story, often projecting their own ideas onto him. This quiet power, living rent-free in people's minds, is something he wields unintentionally but effectively. What's truly remarkable is that he remains unaware of the ripple effect he causes. He's not calculating or manipulative. He's simply living on his terms, focused on his own goals and interests. Yet in doing so, he becomes unforgettable. A man who captivates without trying, intrigues without revealing, and lingers in conversations long after he's gone. It's a rare and effortless magnetism, the kind that can't be faked or manufactured. Number 6. He's seen as untamed and unclaimed. The Sigma male carries an energy that feels untamed, unclaimed, and entirely his own. He doesn't follow trends, belong to cliques, or let society dictate his choices. This independence radiates a kind of wild freedom, the sense that he's not tied down by expectations or confined by labels. It's not a rebellious act. It's simply his natural state. He exists on his own terms, and that makes him fascinating. This untamed quality gives him an unpredictable edge. He's the type of person you can't pin down or fully figure out, which makes him all the more intriguing. There's an unspoken confidence in the way he moves through life. Not needing validation or affiliation to feel secure, it's as if he belongs everywhere and nowhere at the same time, a wanderer in spirit, even if he's physically grounded. What makes this so attractive is that it's rare. In a world where people constantly seek to attach themselves to groups, causes, or identities, the Sigma male's refusal to conform feels refreshing. It suggests that he's not someone you can own, control, or predict. People see him as a free spirit, someone who could just as easily disappear as stay. And that sense of possibility creates a magnetic pull. This unclaimed energy makes others feel like being close to him would be an adventure, uncharted territory full of mystery and excitement. It's not that he's consciously trying to create this allure, it's a byproduct of his independence and self-reliance. He doesn't need anyone to complete him, and that makes people instinctively want to know more, to be part of his world, even if only briefly. The untamed Sigma male is a reminder that true freedom is irresistible. Number 7, he radiates a self-sufficient coolness. The Sigma male has an undeniable air of self-sufficient coolness that sets him apart from the crowd. He doesn't rely on others to validate who he is, solve his problems, or feed his sense of self-worth. This independence isn't just a trait, it's a lifestyle, and it shows in the way he carries himself. While many people scramble to piece together a cool persona through trends or external approval, the Sigma male doesn't need to. His coolness is real because it comes from within. His self-sufficiency is deeply attractive because it's so rare. Most people need something, be it a social group, material possessions, or public acknowledgement to feel secure. The Sigma male, on the other hand, is complete on his own. This quiet confidence creates a natural magnetism that draws others in. People can sense when someone isn't trying too hard, and with the Sigma male, there's no effort to impress. It just is. This coolness also lies in his ability to handle challenges independently. When problems arise, he doesn't complain or play the victim. Instead, he approaches situations with calm resolve, finding solutions without seeking help unless absolutely necessary. This resourcefulness adds to his effortless charm. He's someone who can take care of himself and, by extension, inspire others to do the same. What makes his self-sufficient coolness so powerful is that it's genuine. It's not a performance or a mask. It's the result of a life built on inner strength and self-awareness. While others might fake confidence to fit in, the Sigma male doesn't need to. His independence, composure, and quiet determination make him someone people admire, not because he's trying to be cool, but because he simply is. Number 8, his eyes hold stories he won't tell. A Sigma male's eyes tell stories that words never will. They carry a depth that goes unnoticed at first, but becomes impossible to ignore the longer you look. His gaze isn't just passive, it's sharp, curious, and quietly reflective, as if he's always observing, always taking in the world around him. It's the kind of look that hints at a deeper intelligence, one earned through experience rather than mere knowledge. There's something undeniably magnetic about the unspoken stories his eyes seem to hold. They don't reveal everything, but they suggest so much. People often feel like he's lived through things he'll never discuss, seen sides of life others might never notice, or felt emotions too complex to put into words. That restraint in sharing his inner world doesn't push people away. It pulls them closer, leaving them wondering what's hidden beneath the surface. What makes this even more compelling is how effortlessly it happens. The Sigma male isn't trying to create mystery, it's simply a part of his nature. His ability to observe and reflect without constantly expressing himself verbally creates a sense of depth that others are drawn to. His silence isn't empty, it's layered, meaningful, and brimming with untold stories. This kind of unspoken intrigue becomes a magnet for those around him. They want to understand him, to know the thoughts and experiences that seem to linger behind his eyes. But the Sigma male doesn't give that easily. He shares only when he chooses to, and even then he offers just enough to leave people wanting more. His eyes are like a puzzle that can't be fully solved, a quiet invitation to explore a world he's not quite ready to reveal, making him all the more unforgettable. Number 9, he masters the art of being unbothered. A Sigma male exudes a rare kind of calm that others can't help but notice. He doesn't get caught up in drama or petty conflicts, and he certainly doesn't let emotional turbulence disrupt his peace. While others may feed into chaos, seek validation, or react impulsively, the Sigma male remains unmoved. His ability to stay unbothered isn't an act. It's a reflection of emotional maturity and self-control that most people can only aspire to. This lack of reaction is incredibly powerful because it signals that he is in control, not just of his surroundings, but of himself. The Sigma male doesn't let external circumstances dictate his mood or actions. Whether faced with stress, conflict, or even criticism, he remains calm, composed, and unflinching. People are drawn to this unshakable presence, not because it's forced, but because it comes from a place of deep internal strength. There's a quiet power in being unbothered. It's not about avoiding emotions or ignoring problems. It's about knowing how to manage them. The Sigma male's emotional stability allows him to move through life with purpose and clarity, unburdened by the noise that so often consumes others. He understands that some things just aren't worth his energy, and he chooses to invest it where it truly matters. This emotional maturity becomes a magnetic trait. People sense the peace he carries and are drawn to it. In a world filled with constant drama, the Sigma male's ability to remain unbothered stands out as a mark of strength and stability. It's the kind of calm that inspires respect, admiration, and the quiet understanding that he is a man who knows exactly who he is, and nothing can shake that. Number 10, he's attractive because he doesn't try to be. The Sigma male's attraction lies in the simple truth that he doesn't try to be attractive. He isn't out there chasing attention, changing himself to fit in, or crafting a persona to impress others. Instead, his magnetism comes from living life fully, authentically, and without apology. He's comfortable in his own skin, walking through life with an ease that others can't help but notice. What makes him stand out is the lack of effort he puts into being noticed. In a world obsessed with self-promotion and validation, the Sigma male quietly exists outside those games. He doesn't need constant affirmation because he already knows his worth. This self-assurance is the root of his charm. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. This authenticity makes him compelling. People are drawn to him not because he's trying to be something he's not, but because he's exactly who he is. There's no pretense, no facade, just a man living life according to his own rules. In a sea of people scrambling for attention, the Sigma male's calm, self-sufficient energy becomes a rare and irresistible force. While others may look for validation in others, the Sigma male becomes the one people want to validate. His presence naturally attracts respect, admiration, and intrigue because it's clear that he doesn't need it. He's already content with who he is. This makes him not only attractive, but rare. He's the kind of man people can't help but admire simply because he lives so authentically without the need to chase what comes so naturally to him. As I wrap up, if you've been reading this and nodding along, chances are you've recognized a lot of yourself in these traits. The truth is, you might be a Sigma male, and you might not even realize just how much this makes you stand out in a world that often values conformity over individuality. Your quiet confidence, your ability to stay unbothered, your deep, authentic nature. These aren't just random traits. They're signs that you have an undeniable magnetism that others can't help but be drawn to. You don't need to chase attention or validation. It comes naturally to you because you live life on your own terms. You're not afraid to embrace your solitude. And in that space, you're constantly growing, evolving, and becoming the best version of yourself. People sense this about you. They see the depth, the quiet strength, and the mystery that surrounds you. And while you may not be actively trying to impress anyone, the truth is you're the one people can't stop thinking about. So embrace who you are. Don't second guess your quiet power or the way you move through life with a sense of calm that others crave. Your authenticity, independence, and self-sufficiency are your superpowers. You don't need to fit into anyone's box because you're already someone worth admiring just as you are. If anything, let this serve as a reminder that your most attractive qualities are the ones you don't have to force. You don't need to change a thing. Just keep being you because, whether you realize it or not, you're already captivating the world around you. Keep owning that. See you in our video. God bless you.